Namaskar. Welcome to our kitchen. Today we are going to talk about medicinal ghee. It's quite funny because for years, so many years ago when I started with Dr. Naram, for years I thought that everybody who used ghee also knew how to make ghee. So I would always tell people, okay, you could use ghee for cooking, for remedies. You know that Dr. Naram always gave remedies, home remedies, that they had basically 95% of them, they had a mixture of ghee. So sometimes people said, but it's not good for my cholesterol. I went to the doctor, I had a test, and the cholesterol was very high. And I was just so confused because I knew that ghee was always used for bringing cholesterol levels down, and the bad cholesterol and also the total cholesterol. And finally, I just said that let me find out that why their ghee is bringing their cholesterol up, and our ghee is actually helping people with high cholesterol. So in one gathering, I asked people. I said, "How many of you make your own ghee?" Basically, half the room they raised their hands, and I said, "Could someone tell me how you make your ghee?" And the answer was quite shocking for me because I had never made ghee before. I'm from Iran and we do use ghee in Iran, but I was never the one who made it. And I had learned from the old scriptures and in the old science of making medicinal ghee that there was a system, there was a rhythm to it. So people gave me answers such as, someone said, as soon as it starts boiling, then we will just, we turn it off and then we start skimming off the top. And I said, how long does it take? The answers were from 45 minutes maximum to 2 hours. And that was very surprising to me because that is not making ghee. That is clarified butter that you're clarifying. What we need to do with ghee is that we need to allow it to boil gently, very gently, and make sure that the ghee comes to sort of it blooms, it comes to a fruition at the end. The goal is to separate the milk solids from the butter. As you can see, I'm standing here with a whole bunch of sticks of butter, and we're going to start making this ghee. For the best result, I have experienced that using about 4 to maximum 5 pounds of butter yields the best ghee. When you use a lesser amount of butter and lesser sticks of butter, it just does not come out as good. I don't know why, but that's how it is. I think it has to do with holding the temperature at a certain temperature. So I am using this cast iron heavy bottom enameled pot. As you can see, it's quite heavy, and I've had this for many years. So it is lined with enamel. You can find these pots almost anywhere nowadays, and I have used it for many years. So you can see that inside has been discolored, and that means that this is my old trusted friend. So we're going to now take all the butter sticks and transfer them to the pot. Okay, so just put them like this, and then let's see. Now these are all in. So you can just place them anywhere. My hands are clean. You stick them here and there, and I'm going to put them on the stove. So there is a technique with this. So make sure that the flame is always at the lowest. Even if you have an electrical stove, please make sure that you put it on the simmer level. And now we put the pot on top of this flame, and I know that it's tempting. Sometimes you think that let us just on high flame melt the butter and then we lower the flame. Please don't do that. That's not going to help us. This is a long process, and it has to always be at this level, always at the low level. So what we will do, it will take about 9 hours, sometimes up to 12 hours, and I will periodically check on this, and we will make sure that you have a view of what's happening, what's forming on top, and also what is gathering at the bottom. So I will see you soon, and thank you. So I'm actually giving you a view of this. This has been about almost 3 hours, and you see that the small bubbles are forming. There is foam on top of this, and there's a crust at the bottom. But I do not touch this. I do not stir it. I do not take this layer off. This layer on top is very important that it stays undisturbed, meaning that it actually is regulating the temperature. It's actually keeping the ghee at a certain, or the butter at a certain temperature. So please don't be tempted. I know that many people, they say that they start skimming off the top. Absolutely not. Do not touch it. Just let it be. I just wanted to show you a view of what will happen if we just leave this alone and have it be done, for another 6 hours or so. So it's been about 5.5 hours to 6 hours on very low flame that our ghee is gently boiling. You can see some sedimentation at the bottom. It's getting quite dark, and on top still just slightly golden, and it's going, but it's separating now. It's like cloudy, and the foam is separating. And but be careful, don't get close to it at this point, because of the fact that now the big bubbles are just getting excited, they're agitated. So I have a splatter guard. If you can just get one of these, that would be very good. And I put it on top, so it just protects you, protects your stove, and it's a good thing to have. We will come back and check on this again in another 3 hours. So now it's been more than 9 hours that we have our butter boiled gently. I'm going to take the splatter guard off, and you can see that there is a whole bunch of foamy things on top, and there is also, you see that the color has changed. I'm going to take the lid off of my ghee jar that I've had for a million years, and put a sieve on top of it and line it with this double folded cheesecloth. Okay, be careful when you do this. Have someone help you, or at least use a ladle that you can ladle this into the sieve. As you can see, it's going to all gather here. Right. Very good. Be careful, because still can bubble. As you can see, it's all gathered. That's the way that this needs to be thrown out. This is what we don't want to have. When you allow it to boil for so long, and you enjoy the smell, the taste of it is entirely different. Entirely different. Let's see. And you will see that the color is so wonderful. It's not at all dark, although it looks dark here, but you will see it's just beautiful golden. Okay, I think I'm getting to a point that maybe I should lift this and just pour it in there. You see at the bottom of the pot, you have all this black stuff. That's not going to affect your the taste or the smell or the color of your ghee. Very good. I'm just going to slightly tap this. So make sure everything is gone through, and I'm going to lift this, and here is our ghee. As this cools off, you will see that the color is going to lighten, and it's going to be beautiful. This foam that is on top of it is not at all anything left over. This is just because of pouring that it has bubbled up. Oftentimes at this point, I might even return it to the pot, to a new pot, and allow this to boil a little bit longer. But basically, you will see that the bubbles will die down. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. I am going to allow this to sit and settle, and in about maybe an hour, I will show you the final product. Thank you so much. See you soon. So now you see there's a whole lot of stuff that is settled at the bottom, and then there's a whole lot of, you see, this is what will give you all sorts of illnesses, digestive problems, cholesterol problems, and it's not good for you. Now you might be wondering that the color is too amber, too dark, but you will see as it cools off and it solidifies, you will see that the color would lighten up, and it would just be like the ghee that we're used to. So don't be worried about this. This is just extra heat, and it will cool off and it would be lighter.